channel. In the last video, I have shown you how to create two-dimensional and three-dimensional arrays using array function with the Numpy module in Python, right? So today, stopping all the array function, let us use another different functions within Numpy module itself to create arrays, okay? First, let me import my Numpy module, and if you don't know how to install Numpy, just check out my previous video to install Numpy, okay? As usual, I have my alias name to be np, I have my array name to be arr, and I'll use my Numpy module with my alias name np. np dot, first let us create an array using array module. You all know how to create an array using array module, right? At last, you can specify the data type. It's purely optional. Print arr. I'll run my program now. Run arrays. Yeah, it has returned me 1, 2 and 3. Now what if I change my data type to float? I'll run it again. Run arrays. Yeah, all values within an array are converted into float values. Now I'll change this value to be 3.4 and I'll remove this. I'll run my program. 1 point, 2 point and 3.4. I have changed a single value to float and all other values are also converted to float, because remember that I have already said, keep in mind, an array can contain only values of same data type. You cannot give one integer, one float, one string and all like that, okay? It provides a beautiful error message. So remember, you can have only same values of same data type, okay? Now I'll give this data type to int. I have one float value, right, 3.4, and I have given my data type to int. Let us see what it returns. Run arrays. 1, 2, 3. Our floating point value 0.4 has been removed from the array, okay? In this way, you can change the data type of array, and you can also check the data type using the dtype function. You have array name first, arr dot dtype. Okay, arr dot dtype, array name dot dtype. Run arrays. Yeah, it has returned the data type of our array. Now enough of array function here. Let us use other functions to create arrays. First, I use linspace. I have linspace has mainly three attributes: start, stop and num. The start is the starting value from where you have to start your array. That is, the element will start from the start value and will end at the stop value. And num is always purely optional. It is set default to be 50, and num is the number of values, that is the number of elements you want within your array, okay? Now I have my start value to be 1, stop value to be 6, and the number of elements to also be 6. Okay, I'll print my array again. Run. Yeah, it has returned me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, in this way you can specify number of elements, and if you do not specify any number of elements, it will return 50 values from 1 to 6. Okay, you can see we have got some floating point values from 1 to 6, and you can also specify keywords here, start, and remember that if you want to specify keywords explicitly, then specify them to all the attributes. Do not leave one attribute and specify for another attribute, okay? It will return an error because position arguments must do not follow with keyword arguments, okay? So it has returned all the values from 1 to 6 as same, and you can use num is equals to 6 and run. Yeah. And also you can specify data type here. Dtype is equals to int. We have got floating point values, right? 1 point, 2 point, 3 point and so on. So I'll change it to int. Yeah, this time we got integer values. Now you can also use logspace here. Logspace works same as linspace, but it returns all the values to the power of 10. Let us see what it returns. I have specified my data type is equals to int. Note it. Run arrays 10, 100, 1000, 10,000 and so on. Okay, I'll change it to float now. Run arrays. Yeah, this time it has returned some floating point values in east, right? Again, you can use arange function. Arange. Sorry, I'll show you how to create two-dimensional arrays using linspace and logspace. You can use the same method for both the functions. I have my start values to be 1 and 2 and stop values to be 2 and 3. Sorry, I'll specify some 4 and 5. Okay. Now I'll have my number of values to be 3. Okay. I'll run my program now. Sorry, I forgot to print. Yeah, I'll run it. It has returned 3 values from 1 to 4 and from 2 to 5 in the second row. See, 1, 2.5 and 4. 2, 3.5 and 5. In this way you can also do with logspace, you can also create two-dimensional arrays, okay? Now I'll use another function named arange. Sorry. You can use start value, stop value, and you can also have a step. Sorry, I'll use one here. The step is the difference between your elements within your array. Let us see how it works. Print arr, run arrays. Yeah, it has returned all the elements with difference 1. Now I'll change it to 2. Yeah, it has returned elements with 1 with 2 difference. You can also have floating point values here, 1.7. Run arrays. Yeah, it has returned all the elements with difference 1.7. Okay. Now you can also have, I want all my elements of array to be zeros or ones. We have two functions named zeros and ones to create arrays with all the elements zeros. Okay. I'll use that function zeros and I'll specify my number of elements to be 5. Print L and run my program. Yeah, it has returned 5 zeros. Now I also specify my data type is equals to int. Run. Yeah, all our zeros have been converted into int as a value. You can also use ones here, but before going to ones, let us create a two-dimensional array using zeros also. Okay, 5, 3. I want a 5 by 3 matrix or an array using zeros. Yeah, it has returned a 5 by 3 array, that is a two-dimensional array using zeros function. Okay, remember to have square brackets within your dimensions. And I'll change it to 4, 5, 6. For the sake of simplicity, I'll just make it 2. Run arrays. Yeah, it has returned a 4 by 5 by 2 matrix with all zeros. In the same way, you can have ones, just change to ones. Zeros and ones say work in the same way, but just in the place of 0, you have ones there. Okay. Yeah, it has returned all ones with a 4 by 5 by 2 matrix. In this way, you can create arrays by using different functions. We have discussed linspace, logspace, arange, zeros, and ones. And you can also create two-dimensional arrays using linspace and logspace. And you can have any dimensional arrays, n-dimensional arrays using zeros and ones. Okay, that's all for today. Tomorrow, I'll come with a new topic. Bye.